July 2, 2023. A hotel in Sapporo's red light district, Susukinyo. Staff were tense. Room 22's guest hadn't checked out. Calls went unanswered. The door was locked from inside. They used a master key. What they found wasn't a guest sleeping in late. It was horror. The room was too clean, the bed untouched. But when they opened the bathroom door, a staff member screamed. Blood was everywhere. A man's body was slumped in the bathtub, face down, his upper body inside the tub, his hips and legs hanging out, but his head, it was missing. Not beside him, not in the room. The police were called. No ID, no murder weapon, no struggle. And in these hotels, guests don't need to give personal details. It was the perfect place for a ghost to vanish. Multiple stab wounds confirmed a violent death, but the scene was strange, too calm, too cold. Someone had killed this man, cut off his head, and taken it away. But why and who? Because this wasn't just a murder. This was the beginning of Japan's most disturbing family crime. And before we jump into the video, just a small request. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay active. It will help a lot. The police had no identity, no name, just a headless body, multiple stab wounds, and blood across a bathroom. But within hours, they got a lead. Fingerprints on the body matched a missing person report filed 30 kilometers away. The victim's name was Hitoshi Ura, 62 years old, a factory worker, a husband, a father of two. But there was something else about Hitoshi, a secret life his family never knew. Hitoshi was deeply involved in Japan's underground drag scene. He would dress as a woman, wear makeup and wigs, and attend drag queen parties under the name Tom Chan. There, he was talkative, charming, and social, completely different from his quiet, ordinary life at home. On July 1st, just one day before his death, Hitoshi left home without telling anyone. At 4 p.m., he arrived at a drag-themed party in Sapporo. He wore a skirt, white cardigan, and a short-haired wig. He danced, laughed, and blended in like he belonged. By 10 p.m., he left the party alone. But by 10:30, he was caught on camera, meeting a mysterious woman with red hair and a suitcase. That was the last time anyone saw Hitoshi alive. At 10:50 p.m., Hitoshi and the woman entered the Love Hotel together. She wore white clothes, a fisherman's hat, a face mask, and had bright red hair. Most disturbing of all, she was dragging a large suitcase. They both entered room 22. The door closed behind them. For hours, there was no movement. Then, at exactly 2 a.m., the woman exited the room, alone. The suitcase was still with her. Calmly, she told the receptionist she was checking out. Her voice didn't shake. Her hands didn't tremble. She disappeared into the dark streets where no security cameras could follow. Police scanned every frame. No one else entered or exited. It meant only one thing. Hitoshi was killed in that room, his head taken away in the suitcase by that woman. But even more disturbing was the state of the room. No struggle, no noise, no damage. Whoever killed Hitoshi didn't panic. They didn't rush. It was clean, cold, professional. But this killer wasn't a trained assassin. She was someone far more dangerous. Someone raised in a house where right and wrong never existed. 3 weeks passed. Then on July 24th, 2023, police finally identified the red-haired woman. Her name was Runa Tamura, a 29-year-old woman from a respected family in Sapporo. But the shock didn't end there. When police raided her house, they uncovered a truth no one was ready for. Inside the Tamura home, officers found over 20 blood-stained knives, 4 bone saws, and a suitcase matching the one seen in the hotel footage. In the bathroom, they discovered a decomposing human head. It was Hitoshi's, but Runa hadn't acted alone. Her father, Osamu Tamura, was a well-known psychiatrist. Her mother, Hiroko, a quiet housewife. Both helped her cover up the crime. It was Osamu who picked her up from the hotel with the suitcase in the car. And it was Hiroko who helped clean up. Even more horrifying, police found videos on Runa's computer. In one, Hitoshi's head was placed like a toy, while a hand stroked it playfully. In another, she recorded herself stabbing Hitoshi, over and over, until he stopped breathing. This wasn't just a murder, this was a ritual, and her parents helped make it happen. Runa Tamura wasn't just a spoiled child. She was treated like royalty in her own home. Her father, Osamu, didn't call her by name. He called her Ojo-san, meaning young lady. Her mother didn't sleep in a bedroom. She slept in a corner of the living room. Osamu slept in internet cafes. Their entire house belonged to Runa. Even their own rooms were filled with her things. She controlled everything. Her parents followed orders like servants. On the walls and TV, Osamu had placed a written pledge. Don't waste Ojo-san's time. You are a slave. Know your place. Hiroko updated Osamu constantly through text. What Runa ate, how she was feeling, what mood she was in. Once, when Hiroko simply cleaned Runa's scattered belongings, Runa became so angry she demanded her mother be sold into prostitution. Another time, she tried to strangle her father inside a car. But instead of stopping her, they apologized. This wasn't parenting, this was submission. And it had been going on for years. They didn't raise a daughter, they raised a monster, and fed her ego like it was religion. Runa wasn't always like this. As a child, she was cheerful, loved Harry Potter, and invited friends over. But everything changed in 9th grade. She suddenly stopped going to school. She isolated herself. Slowly, she began losing her grip on reality. She believed she wasn't alone inside her body. She called herself Cynthia, claiming there were other souls living inside her. She even invented a fictional boyfriend, a handsome serial killer who loved her. And in the most disturbing twist, her parents held a real-life wedding ceremony between Runa and this imaginary killer. They didn't question her, they celebrated it. Over time, her mental condition worsened. She'd scream randomly, harm herself, and threaten others. Osamu, a trained psychiatrist, diagnosed her with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. But even with proper medication, Runa refused treatment. She said the pills made her sick. She only took antidepressants, ignoring everything else. Her parents didn't force her to take the full treatment. They let her live in her delusions. Instead of protecting her or others, they surrendered. And that surrender gave Runa the freedom to become what she truly wanted to be, a killer with no conscience. In May 2023, Runa told her father she wanted to go clubbing. Like always, Osamu drove her to Susukino, the same red light district where Hitoshi liked to party. That night, inside a club filled with drag performers, Runa met Hitoshi for the first time. He was dressed as a woman. They danced, flirted, hugged. The age gap didn't matter. Hitoshi was 62, Runa just 29. Osamu watched it all from a distance. His daughter leaving with an older man didn't bother him. In fact, he said nothing. Hours later, Runa returned to her father's car, furious. She claimed Hitoshi didn't use protection during sex. She rushed to buy a morning after pill. From that moment on, she wanted revenge. Runa told her family everything, and instead of stopping her, they joined her plan. They helped her search for Hitoshi again. When they found him, Runa proposed a role play, an S&M fantasy. She convinced him to meet again, this time in a love hotel. July 1st, 2023. Runa met Hitoshi at the Love Hotel. She brought handcuffs, a knife, and a raincoat. Inside room 22, she tied him up under the pretense of roleplay. Then, without warning, she stabbed him in the neck, again and again, until he stopped moving. She calmly beheaded him, cleaned herself, packed his head into a suitcase, and walked out at 2 a.m. Her father picked her up. Her mother welcomed her home. Not one of them called the police. The next day, Runa began peeling the skin from Hitoshi's face. She removed his tongue and eyes. Her parents filmed everything. On July 7th, Runa asked her mother to record a video of her playing with the head. She smiled, posed, laughed. When police raided their home, they found those videos, every moment saved. Runa was charged with murder, mutilation, and abuse of a corpse. Her parents were charged with helping her. In court, her mother cried. Her father blamed her illness. But no excuse could explain what they allowed. This wasn't just mental illness. This was evil, enabled by love. If stories like this matter to you, share this video and speak up, because silence only protects the guilty.